In my last few videos, I discussed Marie Antoinette, Louis XVI, and the royal children. This week, I'm discussing a few other nobles that I mentioned in my Scarlet Chronicles series. Many of the people and the events that I included in Traitor in Her Arms and the other books in this series are based on actual historical figures and events. Hi, I'm Shayna Galen. I'm the author of over 50 historical romances. I've written a 4-book series featuring the fictional unsung heroines of the League of the Scarlet Pimpernel. It's called the Scarlet Chronicles. And in this video series, I'm taking you on a deep dive into the research that I did for the series. This is part 9 of everything you didn't know that you really wanted to know about the French Revolution. One person that I mentioned in my book series is the Princess de Lamballe. If you're watching the PBS Masterpiece series, Marie Antoinette, the princess features prominently. According to biographers, she was Marie Antoinette's best and closest friend. At one point during the Revolution, she was sent to England to try to persuade the British to intervene to help the French royal family. While she was there, she received a note from the Queen recalling her to France and returned only to find that the note had been forged. She was then imprisoned in La Force. While the princess was in La Force, mobs broke into the prison. They attacked Lamballe and the other prisoners and dismembered the princess, carrying her severed head past the window of the imprisoned Marie Antoinette to terrorize the Queen. Although the princess herself doesn't play a part in my books, my characters would have read accounts of the attack on La Force, and I used that account to model other mob massacres in my book. Another noble often mentioned in conjunction with the royal family is Count Axel von Fersen. He was a Swedish nobleman who was good friends with Marie Antoinette. Some have claimed that the two were lovers, but it's my personal opinion, based on my reading, that this is unlikely. Of course, you're free to do your own reading and come to your own conclusions. What is not up for dispute is that von Fersen was one of the architects of the royal family's failed escape from Paris. When his role in the attempted escape became known, von Fersen had to flee France, but he never stopped trying to facilitate the escape of the royal family from France. And until Marie Antoinette's death, he worked to ensure that she was treated well, and he never stopped trying to find a way for her to escape. The Duc d'Orléans was a cousin to Louis XVI. He was wealthy and he was power hungry. During the Revolution, and even before that, he was actively working against Louis XVI in an attempt to strip him of his power. There's some evidence that the Duke was behind the storming of the Bastille. In the end, the Duke also went to the guillotine. The last two people I'll discuss are Madame Elizabeth and Ernestine de Lamberquet. Madame Elizabeth was the younger sister of Louis XVI. She was imprisoned with the royal family, and she shared quarters with her niece, Marie-Thérèse, after the king and queen had been guillotined. Madame Elizabeth never married, and she was devoutly religious. Unfortunately, she was also guillotined in May of 1794. Ernestine de Lamberquet is thought to be the illegitimate daughter of Louis XVI and a chambermaid. She was born just a few months before Marie-Thérèse. She was raised alongside the royal children and was their constant playmate. She was said to greatly resemble Marie-Thérèse, as she was not imprisoned and her fate is unknown. Some theorists argue that Ernestine de Lamberquet switched places with Marie-Thérèse while the princess was imprisoned. Go pick up Traitor in Her Arms or any of the books in the Scarlet Chronicles, and then join me for part 10 of everything you didn't know that you really wanted to know about the French Revolution. We'll do a brief history of the revolutionaries and the revolutionary government.